Hi, and before we get going today, I just want to say if you like and appreciate the content in these videos, it would be awesome if you could hit like and subscribe. Thank you. So there's been a lot of talk lately about how AI fighter jets and military drones are becoming just as good, if not better, than human pilots. Well, this technology is even coming to consumer drones. Did you ever wonder how you get these awesome shots in movies and in TV where it looks like the camera's following you no matter what kind of device you're riding or no matter where you're walking? Well, usually this is done with some kind of a drone using a technology called active tracking. So how is it that these drones can follow you using something like AI, but without all the AI training? Well, they're using something known as computer vision. There's an open source library known as OpenCV that's originally developed by Intel, but now it's freely available for anybody to use. So today I'm going to show you a few things about OpenCV that will allow you to do motion tracking by yourself. You can see that drones are even pretty good at tracking other drones too, but not quite perfect. Now, because consumer-based drones like this, or maybe slightly more expensive ones, are not using AI to be able to track or identify objects, they have to use some form of combination of different computer vision techniques to do the same thing. This motion tracking technique is Lucas Kinnaid, which identifies sharp edges and then tracks those with a line. And this one is called optical flow, which shows only the pixels which have some movement right where the movement is clear, so that's why it appears to show only the borders of objects. All the other pixels stay black. And this is a color tracker based on the HSV color space. It identifies the centroid of an object of a specific minimum size that's a certain color. In this case, it uses the green color of tennis balls. And this one uses Haar's cascades, which are built into OpenCV. This is actually face detection that does a lightweight form of AI to recognize human faces and facial features like eyes. This next one is AI-based face recognition using OpenCV along with TensorFlow, which is trained on both my face and Jeff Bezos. While this is likely not what most active trackers are using, it is the most accurate way of tracking objects or faces. Even though it thinks this styrofoam head is Jeff Bezos, it's actually not too inaccurate. And now we're going to try a few OpenCV motion tracking techniques using some old videos. So OpenCV comes with a number of built-in motion tracking options using different algorithms, including boosting, MIL, KCF, TLD, median flow, CSRT, and MOS. And you can see that these are not perfect. This boosting tracker is set to track the man dancing, but it occasionally tracks the woman instead. This one is the same video using the MIL tracker, and it clearly doesn't do as well as boosting with this type of video. And using median flow, the tracker altogether fails. Here is a woman doing a complicated dancing routine, and while the tracking mostly stays on target, you can see there are a few places where it doesn't track very well. And this is a clip from the famous old movie Voyage to the Moon, where you can see that at the beginning, the boosting tracker, which is considered by many to be the best type of motion tracker, does a pretty good job of following this person here. Toward the middle and end, you can see that it breaks down and it stops tracking the correct person. And it's clearly never going to be as good as using a trained AI system, but it does a pretty good job. And there are lots more applications of motion tracking than just making beautiful movie footage. Some would make great science projects too. For instance, aerospace applications like satellite or space junk tracking, or wildlife tracking for conservation purposes. I recently worked with a science fair student tracking microplastic particles to predict pollution accumulation. Hope you can find a use for all this great free motion tracking software. Thanks for watching, and again, please like and subscribe.